You know what I'm talking about. So here we go, guys. Welcome to our session today on solving equations. Let's go ahead and fix that right up right here. Boom, solving equations. We are doing part one today. This is what happens when I work from a template. But we're working on part one today, where we have a good set of goals that we're going to achieve. And then part two is tomorrow, where we're going to be expanding on today, looking at all of the different types of questions that you could potentially be asked and be able to handle it with as much grace as possible. So, number one, first thing that we're really going to get into is how to solve equations the right way every single time. You know, to be able to understand that, you've got to know the theme, the main idea, how equations work. And so we'll talk about that in a moment. But what we're going to learn is, again, how to solve equations the right way, what the principles are to get that done. Number two, once we have that down, well, then we're going to advance our knowledge from, hey, we're tackling these smaller problems, we're feeling pretty good about it. Well, what happens when we get into these more complicated questions that are more than one or two steps, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or more? How can we still keep it calm, cool, and collected and get it done? By understanding the main idea, and we'll still be able to handle this just fine. But number three, we're going to understand, and I'm going to show you how solving equations is the backwards of a certain math concept. And if you were here before this recording kind of started, then you know that I'm talking about something that is called what? What is the backwards concept of solving equations? PEMDAS, that's right. Order of operations. Order of operations. And just to keep it even simpler than before, something as easy as, let's say, 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1, we know that that's going to be 2. And so an equation is basically saying, hey, we have an order of operations set up, but we have a missing piece. We have other clues. We know what the result is, but we don't know what one of the beginning pieces is. And so instead of seeing 1 plus 1 equals blank, you'll see something like blank plus 1 equals 2. And then you would be prompted to go ahead and solve something like that. Again, they can get more complicated than that. We know that. But that's essentially how it works. It's the backwards of PEMDAS in a lot of senses until we get really, really, really complicated, like quadratic equations and things like that. But for the basic sense here, let's think about it this way, because it's going to make it a lot easier to really wrestle with these concepts. So with that, let's talk about two main rules here. Number one, I think we've heard this before. You guys let me know in the chat box. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. And then number two, know how order of operations works, because you're going to be working backwards. Have we heard these statements before? Especially the first one, right? Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Yeah, we've heard this before. And so I'm going to explain to you exactly how this is going to work for you to your advantage every single time. I got you. So let's write this down again. Number one over here. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. And number two, know your order of operations. Know how it works, because you're going to be understanding that you're working backwards to solve equations. You are working backwards to solve them. And I'm going to give you just a few moments here, 10, 15, 20 seconds. Write that down, because the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be going ahead and just looking at a quick idea that you need to know. So when you're done typing or writing, go ahead and type ready in the chat box, and we will move forward. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, I'm really excited for today's class. I think for the past 10 classes, we have done something other than pure math. So I'm really excited to get into this to show you, really the nitty gritty and the calculations behind everything. So let's move forward here. To solve equations, one final thing that I'm going to need to show you before we actually look at an equation is understanding how to combine like terms. So this is something that some of us here know intuitively, some of us have seen before, while others may not be entirely familiar with it. So I want to ask really quick in the chat box, let me know in the chat box, when it comes to combining like terms, do you feel like that's an idea that you're confident with, so-so with, or confused by? How are you feeling about combining like terms? Okay, Sounds good. So I want to go ahead and just take a quick moment to explain what like terms are and really how to mess around with them. So really quick, just take your attention over to the left half of the screen. This is really all I care about. Don't even worry about this right over here. Not even necessary. Let's take a look at this. So this is what I want you to write down. When it comes to combining like terms, first of all, before you know how to combine these like terms, let's understand what like terms are. So like terms pretty much means that, hey, they're the same type of variable. It's kind of, long story short, what we're saying may not be entirely accurate. But for the sake of your learning today, this is really what you need to know. Like terms, same variables, same exponents. Here is all that means. Here's how simple I can make it for you. Basically, if you have, let's say, 2 plus 3, that's going to be 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. I think nobody here is going to argue that. But if we have, let's say, 2x plus 3x, everybody, what's 2x plus 3x going to be? Okay, that's going to be 5x in the eyes of us here in the chat box, and that's going to be correct. Okay, great. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at a mix, because I see here those are both regular numbers. Then in the bottom there, we have both of them are variables. Let's understand this a little better now. Well, everybody, what if we had, let's go ahead and say we had x plus 3. Everybody, what do we get when we add x and 3? Dominic will answer that in a moment. What do we get when we add x plus 3? What do we do with that? So I see a lot of us here in the chat box saying 3x. Okay. A lot of us here saying 4, nothing, 0. Well, here's the thing, my party people. X plus 3 is simply going to be x plus 3. Just going to be x plus 3. It wasn't a trick question. It was an honest one because I wanted to expose what level of understanding we currently have so we can really improve upon it. So again, if you have the same type of number and you're adding or subtracting them, you can just add or subtract them. You're fine. So 2 plus 3, that's 5. 2x plus 3x, you can kind of read that like saying we have 2 of these x's and 3 more x's. How many x's do we have? 5x. But now, let's say we have an x plus a 3. Well, here's the thing, everybody. Do we know what x is? No, we really don't know what x is. The number in front of it is a 1. Sure, I can give you that. Yeah, there's going to be a 1 in front of it that's not really shown. I can give you that. But the x and the 3 are not the same type of number. And because of that, it's just going to stay x plus 3. Nothing's going to happen to it. Let me explain why. So let me go ahead and show you this. Everyone, we need the same variable and the same exponent. Now, I haven't shown you this yet, but I have shown you this. We do need the same variable. So for the same reason that x plus 3 doesn't change, you can have something like x plus y. We don't know what either of those are, so we can't combine them. That would just be x plus y. Nothing happens there, and that's okay. And that is okay. And so that's the thing, Devin. We don't need to know what x is. We don't need to know what x is in this situation. All we need to know is when we can or cannot combine certain numbers. So, long story short, everybody, let me go ahead and show a couple more examples here. Everybody, get ready to be quick. 12x plus 5x. What's that going to be, everybody? Hit me. Go ahead. 12x plus 5x. What's that going to be? 17x. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, what about, let's go ahead and say 10x plus 3x. What's that going to be? 10x minus 3x. 10x minus 3x. Pay attention. That's going to be 7x. All right, great. Again, okay. Feels pretty straightforward. Let's do another one here. Let's go ahead and do, let's say, 7x plus 7. What's that going to be? 7x plus 7. What's that going to be? Yeah, that's going to stay 7x plus 7. That is going to stay 7x plus 7. Everybody, look. We have a 7x, so we have a variable there. Everybody, is there an x on this 7 over here? Is there an X on that 7 right there? No. And so therefore, everybody, quick question. Are 7x and 7 like terms? Are they like terms? Mm-mm. And everybody, if they're not like terms, can we combine them? No, we can't. That's all you have to follow. That's the rule we need to understand on a very small scale. We're going to be applying it to a bunch of minor problems, and bigger ones from there. But if you practice small, I'm telling you, it's going to be so much easier in the future. This stays as 7x plus 7. That stays as 7x plus 7. Everybody, yes or no, does the idea of combining like terms make any more sense than it did before? Cool. And again, I'm not looking for you guys to just blindly say yes. I really want you to say yes if you truly feel that way. So I do encourage asking questions as well, because obviously we're here to learn and grow. And I don't think any teacher exists where you can go through a whole lesson without any questions from students. So I encourage you to ask questions, because ultimately your success is going to get that much better, that much faster. So with that, let me zoom out a little bit here. Again, you don't have to worry about this right now, actually, because we already talked about this earlier. But just the idea of combining like terms. We have to have the same variable and the same exponent. And luckily, when it comes to the same exponents, we don't really have to worry about that when solving equations just yet. Just yet. So take a quick moment just to write that down, or whatever you would like to from that, because up next, straight into the practice. And we're going to use those main ideas. So for those of you that are already ready to move forward, cool. Oh yeah, Dominic, that's right. So when you're adding 7x and 7x, or 2x and 5x, you're saying you have 2 of these x's, 5 of these x's. Together you have 7 total of those x's. So hopefully you see that you're counting the variable there. So if it's x squared plus x, you actually can't add that, because x squared and x are 2 different variables. Cool. All right. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and slowly get our feet wet, okay? Everybody, when it comes to 1, 2, 3, and 4, just take a gander, take a look here. Let me relax and sink into my chair here. Everybody, which of these would you say is the easiest? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which of these is the easiest? Which of these would make you slouch back like this in your chair and be like, I got this? Which one of these? Now, I see you, Damien. Let's see if you can keep that up. Okay, keep that energy up, man. But most of us are saying number 1. Okay, 1 and 3. I see the most of us are saying 1. Okay, cool. Now, which one of these makes you clamor up? Which one of these makes you a little nervous? Number 2? Okay, sounds good. Now, everybody, let me go ahead and get my leg up here, because I got to ask y'all. I said at the beginning of class, if we follow the main ideas, we're going to put ourselves in a position to succeed. So the main idea that we have to understand when it comes to equations is that solving equations is the art of what? Solving equations is the art of, appreciate you, Jonathan, appreciate you, Jessica, Krishan, working backwards. Remember that. Solving equations is the art of working backwards. And there is another rule, number 2. The rule number 2 is this. Whatever you do to one side, fill in the blank. Whatever you do to one side, fill in the blank. You do to the other. That's right. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Now, let me show you how this is going to let you and give you an avenue to solve these equations. Let's take a look at number 1. So for those of us that, again, don't like equations or confused or need a refresher, just pay attention. Everyone, what is the goal of this first question of number 1? What are we looking for the value of? Can you give me the name of what we're looking for? Yeah, we're looking for K. Okay, sounds good. And the idea is that we're looking to get K by itself. So let me just do this right there. That's my goal. That's my goal. Now, everybody, if we're looking at this equation, I'm going to just draw that line right there to show the difference between both, each side of the equal sign. Now, the thing is, if we have successfully solved this question, the thing is we would see a k by itself. We would see k equals blank, some number. So my question to everybody is this, especially for those of us that are especially careful around equations. Is k currently by itself up here? Is k by itself right now? No. It is not currently by itself. Right here, it is currently not by itself, right? Sorry if you're looking down here. I'm talking about up here. Now, the thing is, k is not by itself. Now, what is in the way right now? What's happening to k that's in the way? Now, I see a lot of us just saying 6. Now, let's fine-tune that a little bit. Can you tell me what operation? And number? Right. What's currently happening to k is that we're adding 6 to it. And now we need to get rid of that 6. We need to get rid of that 6. So we're going to work backwards. We need to understand opposite operations. Everybody, what is the opposite of adding 6? Right. We would subtract 6. And because we're dealing with an equation, remember that all an equation is basically saying this equals this. These sides are equal. So to make sure that it all stays equal, that's why you have to do the same thing to both sides. Because think about it. If I got the same exact weight, let's say we're at the gym and I'm squatting something heavy right now. Let's say I got 400 pounds. I got, allegedly, it doesn't work this way. We have 200 on this side, 200 on this side. Ignore the bar. Let's say we have 200 and 200. Everybody, what's going to happen if I take off 40 pounds on this side, but do nothing on this side? What's going to happen? Right, it's going to be uneven. It's going to be uneven. We're going to tip over, and it's not going to be a great situation. So treat it like that. Treat it like a balancing scale, where whatever you do to one side, you do to the other, because what the equation is saying is that the entire this side is equal to the entirety of that side. So make sure you do the same thing to both sides to keep it equal. Watch this. Minus 6, minus 6. Again, to each side. When we look at the left side, everybody, if we were adding 6, but now we're taking that 6 away, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Jonathan, that was quick. Yeah, it's going to cancel out. Going to cancel out right there. So cool. That's gone. And we wanted that to happen. We expected that to happen. The reason that we subtracted 6 to begin with was to get k by itself. That was the point the whole time. And now all we have to do is ask ourselves, what is 8 minus 6? 2. And that's it right there. And k equals 2. And if you wanted to see if that works, you absolutely could, everybody. If you change that k out right here with 2, is 2 plus 6 equal to 8? Is that true? Right. Absolutely true. Absolutely. So I know for a lot of us, this problem might have been super refreshing, not that complicated, but I want to express how the main ideas apply to the most basic of problems all the way through the hard ones. You guys know how I do this. You guys know how I set this up. So let's go ahead and keep applying these ideas. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you're doing it to the other. And also, we're working backwards from the order of operations. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. Or actually, let's take a look at number 2. Because I know a lot of us are taking a look at this, possibly saying, Coach, this is scary. But let's do the same exact thing. Everybody, what are we looking for in this equation? Can you name that thing that we're looking for? Okay, we're looking for p. Okay, sounds good. So there it is right there. We're looking to get the variable p by itself. Now, my follow-up question for you, my party people, is this. Is p already by itself, or is there something going on that we got to get rid of? Right, it's not by itself. P is being divided by 11, right? We can take a look at this, and we can say that, yeah, here's the equal sign. Again, the left and the right sides, they're exactly equal. So that's when the whole do the same thing to both sides comes in. But first, let's understand what we're supposed to do. Can somebody tell me what's going on here? What is this 11 doing? What is that operation with the 11? What operation is currently happening with that 11? Right, we're currently observing division. One more time. We are observing division because we have P and it's being divided by 11. Because that's what a fraction is. Numerator divided by denominator, right? Top divided by bottom. Cool. So we're good. We know what's currently going on. So now we can work backwards. Everybody, 11 is the amount, but what is the opposite operation that we're going to use now? What is the opposite operation that we're going to be using now? Yeah, multiplication. We know that it's currently, we're witnessing division, so we're going to work backwards and multiply. That's all we're doing. Working backwards. Yes or no? Is this making a little more sense, my party people? Is this making a little more sense? Good. Good, good, good. Because everybody, like I always say, and you're going to hear me say this a lot, by doing the opposite operation on this right side right here, what is going to happen on this right side with those 11s? On the right side, what's going to happen with the right side with those 11s? Yeah, it's going to cancel out because think about it like this, everybody. If you divide by 11, then you multiply by 11, you get right back where you started. It's supposed to cancel out. We can expect that. That's gone. And now we're left with just P by itself on the right side. 11 times 4, everybody. That's going to be the problem of the day. 11 times 4 is what? Boom, right there. 44. Booyah. And we are good. And we are good. So, almost everybody here said number 3 looked the hardest. Is it still the hardest in your eyes? No. Not that complicated, right? As long as we know what the rules are, hey, identify what operations we can see and work backwards. That's it. That's it. Let's take a look at number 2, or number 3, excuse me. Number 3 here, I'm taking a look at this one and I'm saying, hey, okay, I see that I have my X right here, right? I got my X right there. I don't see an operation here in front of that 4. It's kind of weird, right? I don't see an operation in front of that 4. Now, here's the thing, everybody. Is it true? You tell me, allegedly, you're telling me, is it true that if I have, let's go ahead and say 1 plus 2, that's the same as 2 plus 1? Is that the same thing? Yeah, pretty generally speaking. That's true. Like 10 days out of 10. Yep, that's true. Okay. So then everybody, is it also true that 4 plus x could possibly be seen as x plus 4? Yeah, absolutely. You could see it that way if you'd like to. That's one way to notice it. But another way is just to understand that if a number is just sitting there, not connected to anything else, if it's just sitting there, it's just being added. It's just being added. It exists there because it got added in there. And so everybody, how do we get rid of something that's just added in there? How do we get rid of something like that? Again, listen to my words here. How do we get rid of something that was added in there? Right, we'll subtract to cancel it out. And let's see how that works here. So x plus 4. Okay, great. I want to get that x by itself. And so to get rid of the 4, that's adding 4 that I see, I'll get rid of it by subtracting 4. Nice and easy there. Cool. There it is. And we have 17 minus 4. Everybody, 17 minus 4 is going to be what? 13. So again, this was a little bit of a new situation because we were looking at this and we were saying, hey, coach, we just have what looks to be a 4 by itself there. Well, yeah, it's there. It's added there. And so you could take it away by subtracting it. It's not like there's something attached to it like multiplication or it being on the bottom or top like division with fractions. It's just sitting there. If a number is just sitting there, yeah, you can do the opposite of its sign and just take it away. So if it was -4 sitting there, you can get rid of it by adding 4. That's what I'm saying. So yes or no, are we good to continue to number 5 here? Good. And Kayla, I think it was Kayla. Kayla, go ahead and ask your question. I'm going to keep looking at the chat box while I keep doing this, but I can't release the mic. I'm not in Monday classes. I'm sorry. So with that, number 4, let's take a look at number 4. And again, I'm going to keep looking at the chat here. But number 4, let's take a look here. Everybody, who here thinks that we should add? So because you see a negative there, who thinks we should add to solve this? Who thinks we should do something else? Kayla, essentially, when it comes to solving equations, yeah, you're going to be working backwards for the most part. There are always going to be different situations that need you to do something else first. And that's going to happen when you have variables on both sides and things like that. But we're going to take it nice and slow and get there. But no matter what, yeah, you still are working backwards every single problem, no matter what. It just depends on, hey, do we need to do any cleaning up first? And we'll talk about that. But okay, so I see a lot of us are saying we need to do something else, and a lot of us are saying divide. Okay. Let me go ahead and help you guys out. I really love the way that this class is going so far because it's showing that you guys can talk about this. And if you can talk about it now, you can talk about it in the future when it gets harder. So we have -5 multiplied by b. Let me say that one more time. What? We have -5 multiplied by b. Let me just make sure you guys understand where I'm coming from. Everyone, let's go and zoom on in right there to the -5. Let's zoom on in right there. Everyone, we have a -5. Let me just show you how to read this. This is saying -5, and this is b. Everybody, if we just have a number and a variable just attached to each other, what operation is that? If we just have a number and a variable just right there appended to each other, what operation is happening between the variable and the number? Yeah, multiplication. Multiplication is what's happening. Let me make sure you know how to read this. Yes, that is a -5, but that is -5 times b. That's -5 times b. So I want you to understand that the negative and the 5 are the number, the -5. The operation that's happening is -5 times b. Why do we need to see it that way? Well, it's a true way. It's actually how it's supposed to be read. But why is it important that we know this? Because we'll be able to identify the correct operation and not get tricked like some of us may be prone to. And, common mistakes happen. Let me make sure we don't make them as frequently. A lot of people, when they're just starting out, might see that negative on the 5 and think that, oh, that's subtracting 5. We have to add 5. No, it's -5 times b, which means to get rid of the -5, you need to do the opposite operation. We see that it was multiplication. So everybody, we will now do what? Yeah, we will now divide. And so we will now divide to get that in. Exactly. And so here it is. We'll take both sides, divide by the -5. And notice what's going to happen. A negative divided by a negative, everybody, is what? A negative divided by a negative. Let's focus on this side here. A negative divided by a negative is what? A positive, right? Yeah. So we divide that out. Bam, that cancels out. 2 negatives being divided, cancels out. 5 divided by 5, cancels out. So what do we have left by itself? Just b. Just b. That's what we get by itself. Everybody, was that the goal? To get b by itself? Was that the goal? And no, it is. In this question, it is. So this is number 4. We see that it's 90 equals -5b. Getting to b is the goal. And now let's understand what's going to happen here. Everybody, now we have 90 divided by -5. That's a positive 90. So help me out, everybody. What's a positive divided by a negative? Right, it's a negative. And if you've been in the math basics course in there, you'll see that unit 2 in the math basics is going to be dedicated specifically to handling negatives. Operations with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Make sure you go in there. So with that, boom, that's going to be a negative. What's a 90 divided by 5? If you didn't know, don't worry. If you need to do long division, that's fine. But we know that 5 times 20 is 100. So that 5 times 19 is 95. 5 times 18 would be 90. You could think of it like that if you've been learning mental math for me. Or we can do this. 5 goes into 9 one time. And then 5 goes into 40. That's going to be 8 times. So we have negative 18 as the answer. But don't let that distract you. If you're confused when it comes to working with negatives and things like that, don't let that fool you or distract you from the fact that we stuck to the main idea. Whatever we did to one side, we did to the other. And also, we worked backwards to get rid of everything on that b, the variable we're trying to get by itself. We noticed that there was a negative 5 being multiplied. So we divided it. And that's it. I really want to express how straightforward it can be. Does that make sense, everybody? Yes or no? Let me know. Let me know if that makes sense. Perfect. I'm going to zoom out to basically do one quick little overview of the rest of these, take a picture, and what we're going to do is I'm going to let you guys try a set of these problems on your own. Now, I'm going to be very real with you. For those of you that are in my program and you're looking for today to be the class where we go over really complicated equations, that's going to be in tomorrow's class. So, Damien, I saw that you were asking about those, and Dominic, I know you are probably tearing this up like it's breakfast. I know. So if you're feeling that way, remember that you can jump right into Unit 2 of the Math Basics Progress book, or excuse me, Unit 7. This is Unit 7, and you can get that extra practice. But if you've got this down all the way through, System of Equations up next. That's going to be Unit 7 in Math Knowledge. You're welcome. So I got you. So with that said, I want to give you guys a chance to try this out here. But again, work backwards and do the same thing to both sides. Here, k plus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides. Here, there's just a 4 with the x. Take the 4 away from both sides. Over here, hey, we got ourselves the variable p divided by 11, multiplied by 11. Do the opposite. And here, we have negative 5 times b. Get rid of it by dividing negative 5 on both sides. Do the same thing to both sides. And do the opposite operations. I want to give you the opportunity now to try this next one out. Now, I purposefully put some negatives in here to challenge your thinking. So do the ones that you know you can do. And even with the ones that you're not quite sure of, see if you can identify the opposite operation. So let me go ahead and give you a timer right here, 2 minutes. Pick 1 or 2 of these that you'd like to try out. Boom, right there. So I'm going to leave my face up for a second, but I want you guys to go ahead and try this out and see if you can apply these main ideas. Go ahead. Go ahead and apply these main ideas. And when you're ready, type ready in the chat box. I'm going to get some water really quick. I'll be right back. But go ahead and type ready when you're ready. All right, so we have 10 seconds left here. And again, just do your best. This is not, some sort of condemnation on your ability to do math. Don't worry about that. Really what we should be focusing on right now is, hey, where am I at right now? Am I inching forward? Can I pick something up from this? So, boom, time's up. How are we feeling right now? Do we feel like this was harder or easier than the first 4 problems from before? Is this easier or harder? Right here. Is this easier or harder? Okay, I see y'all. It's easier now. Okay. Okay. I thought some of y'all were going to say that this looks a little harder because honestly, some of the things here may have been a little tougher. But the thing is, everybody, did I say there were special rules when it came to dealing with negatives? Yes or no? Did I say that? Did I say there were special rules for dealing with negatives so far? For those of y'all saying yes, y'all are putting words in my mouth. Y'all are putting words in my mouth. No, that is not true. I did not say that at all. And it hurts my feelings that you would put words in my mouth. So let me go ahead and learn you some math real quick. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead now and understand that the same things apply. I'm going to sound like a broken record. The same 2 things apply. 1, work backwards. Number 2, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. That's it. Let's go get in there. Thanks, Akila. Appreciate you. Number 1, everybody, we're looking for n. Everybody, what is currently happening to the n? What is currently happening to the n? Right, we currently see division, but be more specific, what value as well? What operation and what value are we currently seeing? Yeah, we're currently seeing division by 30. So let's go ahead and just do the opposite. That's it. If we see that we're dividing by 30, everybody, we're going to now what by 30 to both sides? We are now going to what by 30 on both sides? Multiply. So everybody go ahead and say it in the chat box. Everybody go ahead and do it. Type multiply 30 on both sides. One more time. Multiply 30 on both sides. So the opposite operation of that number to both sides. Opposite operation of that number to both sides. Be very specific, because if you can be specific while you practice, then you're going to commit this to memory and you have more of a reliable source, as in yourself, when you are taking the real test. So, boom, the opposite of dividing by 30 is multiply by 30. That's going to be a quick one here. So that's going to cancel it out. That's exactly what we wanted. And now we can get that n by itself. That's what we wanted. And everyone, 30 times 2 gives us what? That's going to be 60. Boom, right there. Again, I'm going to write this down one more time before I continue. Again, we're doing opposite operations. Let me just show you the 60 right there. We're doing opposite operations. And we're doing it to both sides. That's really it. Like, as long as you're focusing on opposite operations to both sides, you can solve any linear equation. Emphasis on linear. So with that, let's go ahead and get into number 2 here. Now, everyone, p minus 16 equals negative 33. Genuinely speaking, is anyone here a little nervous about the negative on that 33? Be honest. Be honest. Is anybody here looking at that negative 33 like? So whether it does freak you out or doesn't, that actually doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter at all. What matters is, can I identify what variable it is that I'm looking for? And can I identify the steps I need to take to get that variable by itself? So everyone, take a look. We have that p that we're looking for. Here's the equal sign. So again, all that equal sign tells me is everything on this side and that side, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm focusing on the p, and that's located right here. Everyone, what is currently happening to the p? What is currently happening to the p? Right, we are currently subtracting. Be specific again, guys. Be specific. We're currently subtracting 16 from p. Currently, that's what we're doing. So what we need to do to get rid of the subtraction of 16, what do we do to both sides? Be specific here. Be specific. So we're not going to subtract. So subtracting was the operation. 16 is the value. Opposite operation means add. We're going to add 16. And now put it all together, everybody. Great job. Put it all together, all in one big phrase. Add 16 to both sides. Again, opposite operations to both sides. That's right. So here what we see is opposite of minus is add. Whoops. Add right there. And it's going to be 16. But we have to do it to both sides because, again, got to keep that balance. Got to keep the balance. And so with that, boom, that's going to cancel because those are opposite operations. That's designed to cancel out. And so P equals what? Everybody, what's negative 33 plus 16? If you've been handling your negatives, you know what I'm talking about here. What's that going to be? Kayla, close, not positive 17, but negative 17. Negative 17, okay? And I know that this class is not a dedicated class to negatives, decimals, and fractions and things like that. But know that if you're in the program, Kayla, I believe you're in the program, make sure that we really dedicate some time. And even if we pass the speed rules, dedicating some extra time to Unit 2 in the math basics. That goes over negatives with all the operations. So that way when you come out of that, you're a monster. This never going to bother you again. And just to be clear, hey, Dominic, Damien, and anybody else who's passed this in the math basics so far, is this something that you flinch at anymore? Do you flinch at this anymore? If you've passed, not at all, right? Not at all. And I love that more people are saying that too. Because again, when you have the proper amount of practice, it's not like, oh man, you start studying the next day, then you forget what you learned the previous day. No, the way that the program works is it basically helps you build a foundation so you can build layers on top of it. So, basically by building these layers and continuing moving forward in the steps that I outlined, you're not going to forget these fundamental ideas because we're always incorporating them at all times. So you have to know your negatives. You have to know your decimals. You have to know your fractions. Make sure that that's a priority because if you complain about it, that's not learning. So, I know it's easy to complain about things, but the fact of the matter is the ASVAB won't change for that. You have to know your negatives. You got to know how to deal with numbers. It's just going to be overall easier to deal with word problems. Trust me. So with that, I got you, Kayla. Reach out to me. I'll hook you up. I got you. I'll help you out there to find anything you need. But let's go ahead and go to number 3 here. We have 1 minus P equals 9. Let's check this one out here. 1 minus P equals 9. And let me just answer this in the chat box here. Unit 7 in the math basics. Again, I said it in the beginning of class. This is Unit 7 in the math basics. And so when you go in there, you're going to see that you're going to have all your speed drills. 1-step equations, 2-step equations, 3 steps, multi-step, and then you have multi-step part 2, I believe. But you have speed drills for all of them. Unlimited practice, multiple choice, have fun. So again, section 7. So here we go. 1 minus P equals 9. Everyone, let's take a look at this. 1 minus P equals 9. Everyone, can you solve this in just 1 step? Can you solve this one in just 1 step? So those of us saying yes, it's actually not the case. It's actually not the case because I want to actually introduce you to your first 2-step equation. And you might be looking at this and you're saying, what, coach? Huh? This is 2 steps? Yes. Let me show you why. Everyone, quick question. Just basic question, fundamental question. What are we looking for in this question here? What are we looking for? Right, we're looking for P here. Let me go ahead and highlight that. We're looking for P. Everyone, we're not looking for negative P. No, we're just looking for P. So it looks like to me, I'm going to have to get rid of the negative on the P. And I'm also going to have to get rid of this 1 that's just sitting there. And for those of you that are a little nervous about handling multi-step equations, so 2 steps or more, let me go ahead and introduce you to a little method I like calling the box technique or the box method. Basically boxing the variable you're looking for and then showing everything that's really directly near it so you know what steps you're supposed to take first. Because the most confusing thing for anybody solving equations is understanding which step to take first. So by showing this, showing what's immediately happening to the p and then expanding out, look at what you see. You have the negative that's happening to the p, and then you have the 1 that's sitting there. Everyone, what is the last thing that's happening to the p? The negative or that 1 that's just sitting there? What's the last thing that's going to happen to that p? The last thing that's happening to it is that 1 that's just sitting there. Think about it. Go from the inside out. Look at these boxes. From the inside out. P has a negative. Break out of that box, then the 1. So, everyone, let me see if I'm not, or if I'm making some sense here. Everyone, solving equations is the art of what again? Solving equations is the art of what? Working backwards. Yeah, working backwards. So let me show you this, everybody. The first thing I'm going to get rid of is the last step in the box, in the order of operations. Because remember, order of operations goes forward, solving equations is backwards. So by doing this, I identified all the operations going forward. First thing that's happening to the p is the negative. Then we have the 1 that's just sitting there. So going backwards, this 1, I'm going outside in now. The 1 is the first thing I got to take care of. So everyone, I showed you this earlier. I coached you on this. How do we just get rid of a number that's just there? How do we get rid of that? Yeah, we'll subtract it. Because we see that a 1 that's just sitting there is a positive 1. It is not a negative 1. The p is negative, not the 1. So we just have a 1 that's sitting there. Yeah, that's a positive 1. So we can subtract 1 on both sides to get rid of that. So let's take it nice and slow here, everybody. Watch and learn. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1 from both sides here. Subtract 1, subtract 1. Again, here's my imaginary little line that I got to respect. And so with that, booyah, that cancels out. And we have ourselves, oh wait, there's still a negative on that p. And now we have 8. All right, everybody. We still have a problem. We still have a negative on my variable, right? We're looking for p, not negative p, but we're pretty close now. We're 1 step closer here. Everyone, quick question. We know this. I don't see a number in front of the p. What number is in front of any variable that's just a variable? Yeah, you can always put 1. You can always put 1. And to help you visualize it, yeah, that's actually going to be a negative 1 times p in front of that p. It's a negative 1 in front of the p. So that's multiplication. That's negative 1 times p. How do we get rid of a negative 1 being multiplied? And give me all 3. What's the opposite operation? What's the value? And where are we doing it? Help me out here. I love how you guys are starting to get this. I love this. Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. So let me just correct one thing here. So in the chat box, I see a bit of a half and half. And I see there's a ton of you guys, by the way, private messaging me by accident. Make sure to click everyone in the chat box and not just me. That way everybody can see what you're writing to. Unless you want to keep it to just me, up to you. But I see half of us saying divide 1 on both sides. And I see half of us saying divide negative 1 on both sides. Everyone, think about it like this. If we just divide 1 on both sides, that's not going to work. Not going to work. Because if I just divide by 1, sure, that'll cancel the 1 out. Not really. But notice how the negative is still going to be there. The negative doesn't cancel. That's why you have to divide by the negative to get rid of that negative there. Right here. Boom. Giving you p equals, everyone, 8 divided by 1 is 8. But a positive divided by a negative is going to be what? Yeah, it's going to be negative 8. And that would be our answer there. P equals -8. And that would be the answer. Now, just to prove that this is the answer, just want to make sure. We just want to prove it to you. Look at the original statement there. 1 minus P equals 9. Okay, let me just write that out again. 1 minus P equals 9. Let me replace the P with the answer. So 1 minus -8. Everybody, quick question. If we have a double negative, so 1 minus -8, a minus negative is the same thing as what again? Right, same thing as adding, same thing as a positive. So take a look at this. So 1 minus -8 is the same thing as 1 plus 8. Everybody, is 1 plus 8 equal to 9? Yeah, see, yes, boom. And that is good. That is good. So with that, even though there was a negative involved, how do you like that first instance of a two-step linear equation? Was that crazy? Or was that doable? Hey, Kayla, you liked it? All right. Right, it wasn't crazy, right, Rachel? Very doable. Abimael, right? Very doable. Feeling pretty good, right? We just have to be very clear about what the forward steps are so we can work backwards. That's it. That's it. So let's take a look at number 4 here, and then we're going to get into two-step equations. So here we go. So we have -2 equals P minus 6. Yeah, Leah, feel free to ask the question. I'll go ahead and answer it. So I keep checking the chat box. I got you. So let's take a look at this. -2 equals P minus 6. Everybody, that -2 doesn't matter at all right now. We have to focus on what's happening to the variable that we're looking for. I'm looking for that P right there. Everybody, what is currently happening to the P? Be specific. What is currently happening to it? Hey, Aranola, feel free to stick to the end of the class, and I'll go ahead and explain how to get into the program. I got you. Right, P is currently being subtracted by 6. So all we're going to do is the opposite operation. We're going to add 6 to both sides, give ourselves that opportunity, and we're good. Boom. All we have to do is observe what's happening, do the opposite. Boom. That cancels. We have ourselves P equals, excuse me there. Let me go ahead and do that. P equals, and then what's -2 plus 6? Everyone, -2 plus 6 is the same as 6 minus 2. 6 minus 2, that's going to be 4. Boom. And we're good. And so I'm somewhat surprised at how quickly some of us are really, because I'm not looking to see if you guys are saying yes to, oh yeah, that's the right answer. I'm really checking to see if you guys are getting some of these really core fundamental ideas down, such as working with negatives, such as identifying the steps with order of operations. You guys are showing that you're really good at this. I ran this class back at the end of September, October-ish, and in that class, there was because I watched the recordings to make sure that I can learn from my teachings. And I noticed that in that class, a lot of people were really hanging tough with those negatives. And then when we got to the 2 steps, got a little harder there. But what I'm seeing now, and I'm believing that it might be because y'all have handled negatives already with the program, that this is becoming so much more doable for you. So yeah, for those of us that are asking in terms of how to work on, I got you, Whitney. And for those of us asking how to work with the negatives, again, in the program, write this down. Unit 2, Math Basics, Unit 2. We have to be able to do this first. Unit 2. We have to be able to handle our negative numbers first before we get into solving equations, because think about it like this. It's like saying, hey, I want to be a pilot, right? Let's say I want to be a pilot. And let's say you're looking at all the prerequisites to be a pilot. You have to take this course. You have to have, this many observation hours, this many flight hours, this many solo flight hours. And so let's go ahead and see someone who just didn't do all the solo hours. Well, they go on a flight on their own, and they're going to learn that, oh, crap, If I'm in this emergency situation, I haven't handled this by myself yet. And so now I can't proceed with my flight. And obviously it becomes a fatal situation. But long story short, we're taking a look at the situation. And we're saying, hey, we didn't cover all of our bases. And now we're in a situation that's a little precarious and dangerous at that. So obviously math is not physically dangerous, but getting a bad ASVAB score still is dangerous. So remember that if you're not willing to work and do those stepping stones, it's not going to go the best way possible. So if you have any questions on what you should be learning before specific topics, let me know. I line it up for you in the program. But if you have any questions, just shoot me a text or email and I got you. So with that, that's Aaliyah. Yeah. So when you log into the website, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But let's go ahead and really flip everything on its head. So Cameron, hey, look. Blessed be you, my child. Mathematics is mathematics. Let me help you. So everyone, on a scale of what to okay, what are we thinking when we look at this? Oh, heck no. Yikes. What? Nervous laughter. LOL. Here we go. 8 out of 10. Crying emoji. Nah. I hate this. Christina, I'm gonna have you text me after. I got you. Throw into the wolves. Headache. Hard. Heck yes. Here we go again. It's about to go down. It's scary. Okay. So, okay. No worries. I'm gonna do this one first. These two types of problems first, because I really want to show you that as long as you know how to identify the steps, it's all about working backwards. So let me first do this for you. Let's, again, understand what's happening in the forward sense and in the backward sense. Really, really, really quick. Let me zoom in. You can't see anything anymore. Very briefly, everybody, really briefly, follow along with me. I got you. Let's go ahead and go and take a look at this example here. Just numbers. Let's take a look at, let's say, 6. And then let's go ahead and say 6 plus 4. And we're dividing it all by 2. Right? And I'm going to show the same thing over here. I'm going to say the same numbers. 6 divided by 2 plus 4. Everyone, what did I say? I said, hey, if you're able to do the same thing to both sides, and if you're able to work backwards, you're going to be successful. Let me show you how to read this moving forward, which a lot of you know how to do. A lot of you already know this, but once you see it in equation form, a lot of us are like, oh, hell no. All right? So let me help you out. Everyone, in this first one here, let me zoom in on this one here, just this one. We have 6 plus 4 divided by 2. What are we doing first, everyone? Are we going to add or are we going to divide first? Which one? Which one's happening first here? Adding or dividing? Right. So I can see that a lot of us know and understand that, yeah, if we're working forward, we're saying, hey, look, I'm going to add the 6 and the 4 together first. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to then divide by the 2. Everybody, does that make sense in this one? The first step, you would add the 6 and the 4 together because they're both together up top. And then you would divide whatever that is by 2. Yes or no? Does that make sense to you? If we're working forward, you would do 6 plus the 4. Boom. That's 10. Then you divide by 2. Right? Right. Great. So I want everybody, as many people as possible, to reply, because even those of us that are sitting in the back saying, this is really where it's important, where you're not just sitting back and saying, yeah, coach, take care of it. I'll try it later. This is where I want you to really get closer, okay? I really want you to get closer here because this is going to spell a lot of success. So here we saw that we're adding the 4, then we divide by the 2 at the end. Let's look at the same exact numbers, the same exact operations, but notice how the order is different here, everybody. What do we do first, everybody? Are we dividing by 2 first? Are we adding the 4 first? Which one's happening first here? Right, notice, same exact numbers, same exact operations, but we tweaked it just enough to give us a different order. And so here, Notice how we're going to have 6 divided by 2 first, because that fraction is by itself. And then whatever the result of that is, okay, great. After that, then we add 4 at the end. So notice, everybody, same exact numbers, same exact operations, but you have to observe and really look at it to understand what the forward way is, because when it's time to work backwards, it's going to be a piece of cake. I promise. I promise. Let's take a look, everybody. Let me show you how much of a piece of cake this can be. Here we go. And let me make a deal with you. If I go through these 2 questions and it makes a lot of sense, I want everybody to blow up the chat box with your after we're done. After we're done. Here we go. B plus 5 over 7 equals 3. Everyone, let's take a look at this. We have B plus 5 over 7 equals 3. Everybody, quick question. What have we always been doing? What variable are we looking for? What variable are we looking for? Yeah, we're looking for B. We're looking for B. Nothing crazy. There it is. Now, everybody, if we were pretending to work forward, what's happening first? Is it plus 5 or is it divide by 7? Which one's happening first? Right, we're adding the 5 first. I know a lot of us are thinking, yo, coach, isn't multiplication division first when it comes to PEMDAS? Yes, yes. But when you think about fractions, everybody, we're basically saying, hey, this fraction line means that we have all of this up top being done first, and then whatever that is, just like we saw down here, wherever it went. Yeah, whatever we saw right here, we did the 6 and the 4 together first because they were up top together. Then we divided by 2. Same idea over here. Whatever the B is, the first thing it's interacting with is the 5. It's adding with it. Then whatever you have when you add those together, then you would divide by the 7. Then you would divide by the 7. Everybody, does the forward way of observation here make sense before we work backwards? Does the forward way make sense? Because the B and the 5 are both together in the numerator, you do those first, you add them first, then you would divide by 7. Okay, great. We have step 1 and step 2. All we have to do is work backwards. That's it. Like seriously, let me show you how seriously easy this can be now. Everyone, the last step that we said was divide by 7. Opposite operation, value, both sides. What are we going to do to both sides, everybody? What are we going to do to both sides? The last step was divide by 7. That's what we're attacking first. Instead of dividing by 7, we will do what? Yes, we're going to multiply by 7 on both sides, just like that. So right here, I'm going to say multiply by 7, and guess what happens? If the last step you're taking is dividing 7, and then we multiply by 7, clean cancellation. Because the last thing you were doing was dividing the whole thing by 7. Multiply by 7. Cancels out, clean, gives you B plus 5 right there. And now, everybody, 3 times 7, what's that going to be? Yeah, 21. 21. There we go, right there. So, can you do something for me? No pun intended. What's the next step here to solve this problem? Glad you got it, Cameron. The last step here, yeah, we're going to subtract 5 on both sides. That's the last step. That's it. Boom, we're good. We can breathe. Subtract 5 on both sides, and everybody, the answer is going to be what? Answer is going to be what? Yeah, 16. Let's go. B equals 15. B equals 15. Everyone, was that doable? Was that doable? Oh, excuse me, 16. That's my bad. My bad. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for letting me know. Boom, 16. Appreciate you. And no, Dominic, you can't get a shirt for that. So glad that this feels a lot more doable. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. And again, I'm going to show you. It's just about observing. Like, this looks disgusting, right? This looks nasty. I don't want to do this, but you can do it by just understanding, hey, what variable I'm looking for? What's happening to the variable? Work backwards. What variable am I looking for? What's happening to it? Work backwards. So let's take a look here. Everyone, we're looking for the variable r. Question, everybody. What's the first thing currently happening with the r? Is it the -6 that's sitting there, or is it the division of 4? What is happening first to the r that we would observe? Right, the first thing that's happening to it, it's being divided by 4. Then we take care of that -6. And that's exactly what's going on. Right here, we have the r. It's being divided by 4. Right there. And then we would do business with that -6 that's there. Everybody, yes or no? Do you agree? Do you agree? That's what's happening there. It's a clean box. And you know the great thing about the box method is when it comes to setting up equations and solving them? Look at what happens when you try to do it the other way. Let's say you try to incorporate the -6 first. Look at how bad this looks. Look at how bad this looks. That doesn't make sense at all, right? Doesn't make sense at all. So this helps you out. Like the box method really, truly does help you out in terms of making sense out of it. So the first thing you want to take care of, again, you see that we're dividing 4 on the r first. And then the second step that's happening is you have that -6 sitting there. So when you're taking a look at this, everybody, I want to work backwards. Great. Everyone, what's the first thing I'm taking care of now? The first thing I'm taking care of is the last thing that I did, the -6. Everyone, how do I get rid of a -6 that's just sitting there? Yeah, we just add 6. We went over this earlier. Everybody, 2 steps is just 1 step and then another step. That's it. It's not like 2 steps is twice as hard as 1 step. It is not. It is just 1 more step. I want you to stop thinking about more steps being twice as hard. No. Here, first thing we'll do, add 6 to both sides because that will get rid of that outer layer of the box. Nice and straightforward there. Everybody, what's 5 plus 6? Help me out, man. Yeah, that's going to be 11. Perfect. And what are we going to write on the right side, everybody? 11 equals what? Help me out. Not just r. No, not just r. Yeah, r divided by 4. That's right. R divided by 4. It's another word here. Welp. Doesn't this look familiar? Yes, it does, folks. So if we have r divided by 4 equals 11, how do we get rid of the dividing by 4? Yeah, we're going to multiply by 4 on both sides. Exactly. I love that you guys, this is one of my best classes, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for making this one of the best classes. So boom, we are going to multiply by 4 on both sides. Nice and easy. And we see that that's going to cancel out on that right side. And we have r equals 44. Again, very, very, very doable. Very doable. So as promised, can you guys do me a favor in the chat box if you agree with this being doable? Cheers. It's little moments like these is why I became a teacher. Just to make an entire room of people go, yeah. Yep, that's exactly why I became a teacher. So with that said, why? Well, you can't take money to the grave, but you can take your swag. So with that, let's go ahead here. Let's move on to the next slide. The next slide, let's go ahead and take a look at this. And let's see if we can take care of business together here. So I want to go ahead and put these 2 problems in front of you. And I would love to give you guys 2 minutes to go ahead and try this out. So if you guys can't tell, I'm beaming right now because you guys have, honestly, you guys have made this class 5 times better than I could have possibly asked for it to be. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for participating. Next up, try these 2 problems out. I'm going to give you 2 whole minutes. So that's pretty much enough time to try one of them out. And I'm not expecting a final answer. All I'm expecting for you to do is just say, hey, here's the variable I'm looking for. Sounds familiar, right? Here's the variable I'm looking for. Here's what's happening to the variable. And here are the backwards steps. Go ahead, try that out. I'm going to give you 2 minutes here. Try it out, 2 minutes, and give it your best go. The timer's starting. I'm going to go ahead and reveal it in a moment here. Just trying to find it. There it is. Cool. And so you're good. Try that out. And again, just outline the steps forward, try that box method if you'd like to, and then work backwards. I'm going to make my face disappear to not be a distraction. Just type ready when you're ready. And that is time. So I want to remind you guys that our classes, the practice that we have, especially the time practice, is not supposed to be any sort of indicator or condemnation of your ability in terms of math. It's not what it's about. The timer is more so meant for me to just keep a good grip on class time so that way we can keep moving forward. Okay, that's what that's about. It's not about you. It's not about, again, pointing a finger. But I do want to ask you, in those 2 minutes, again, the goal was not to get a final answer for both. It was to see how far you can get. So in those 2 minutes, do you believe that you got to where you would have got to without today's class? Or do you feel like you were able to get further than you would have gotten by yourself? Do you feel like you got further, or do you feel like you were just as stuck as you would have been? Okay, I'm glad you guys feel like you got further. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And really quick, because I saw that in the chat box, Damien. Don't think I didn't see that, Slick. Damien, take your phone out real quick. Take a quick picture of it. I'm going to show you to take a picture of this. And anybody here who's not entertained yet, go ahead, do yourself a favor, Damien. Go ahead and take a picture of that. Really quick, Damien, looking at you specifically. Hey, absolutely, I'm going to call you out specifically. These recordings are meant to be used forever, but I keep getting too into it, and I love my job. So I'm supposed to be speaking generally, not even saying the word ASVAB, but I'm still going crazy with it. I don't care. So take that picture too. Damien, please and thank you. Go ahead and try those out. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get back into these, my party people. So getting into these, the 2 steps here. Number 1, I hope that you guys can realize and see that, okay, great. We have 2 plus k, and all of that's being divided by 4. Cool. So 2 plus k right there. And then we see that it's all being divided by 4. So this is going to help me outline again the steps going forward. And now I'm going to work backwards, starting from the last step. Everybody, we see that the last step here is dividing by 4. So what's the first thing we're going to do to both sides of this equation? Right, we want to multiply by 4. Sweet. So we have times 4 here and times 4 here. Dominic, I saw that. I'll see if I can get the chance to do that. We're running out of time here, okay? So here we have times 4, both sides. Okay, cool. So we're going to cancel that out. And then we have 3 times 4. Everybody, 3 times 4 is what? 12. Cool. Nice and easy. So we still have 2 plus k equals 12. And then everybody, okay, so 2 plus k equals 12. How do we get rid of that 2 that's by the k? Right. If it's a 2 just sitting there, a positive 2 just sitting there, we can get rid of it by subtracting 2. Nice and easy. Boom. Subtract 2 on both sides. Gone right there. and we have K equals 10. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Did anybody here get this problem done in less than like 20 seconds? Woo! I love seeing that. And I know not everybody. I know, but it's good to see how when I legit asked y'all, half y'all were looking at this like, coach, this is some like voodoo stuff, man. Like, leave me alone. No. And now we're doing it. Let's take a look at the next one here. We haven't had the chance to do this one yet, or this type of question yet. But guess what, everybody? If you know how to identify the forward steps, this is still doable. We haven't even gone over this yet, but I'm going to show you how this is the least of your worries. So watch this. I'm looking for B. The first thing that I see that's happening to it, the observation that I'm making, again, because you got to observe, first thing is it's 3 times that B. Then what I see happening after the fact is after I do the 3 times the B, I'm subtracting 40. Okay, great. So what this means is now that I've identified the forward steps, the order of operations, now I'm going to work backwards. And so outside in, the last step was subtracting 40. So what I'm going to do is the opposite of subtracting, which is adding the same number to both sides. Boom, right there. Sweet. Cancels out. And now we have 3B equals what? 210. Right on, guys. Dominic, I think I just missed that comment right there. Yep, exactly. So now that we're here, we have 3B equals 210. Everybody, the last step is dividing 3 on both sides. Divide by 3 right there and there. Booyah. And we have B equals 70. Did anybody here try out problem number 2, not knowing if you could get it right or not, and you got it right? Let's go. Let's go. And the reason that we would divide, Santiago, is right here. So remember that solving equations is the art of working backwards. So the main thing about this is, hey, can we identify what's happening? Because that's what we're going to do the opposite of to work backwards. So if I'm looking at the 3 and the B together right here, let me just erase everything else that's going on. So if I'm just taking a look at these 2 elements right here, just this right here, I got 3 times B equals 210. So some number times 3 equals 210. To get rid of that times 3, opposite of multiplying, dividing, and that's why, well, I can't hit the redo button, but I'll go ahead and just show it again. That's why here we divide by 3, because that's going to get rid of the 3 right there, leaving us with the B by itself. And that's 70. Let me know if that makes sense, Santiago. I got you. Booyah. Gotcha. So there it is right there. So take a picture there. It is 7:38. We got plenty of time, man. Let's go. So here's what we're going to do up next. What we're going to do up next is I want to go through some speed drills here, okay? I want to go through some speed drills. Now, actually, I'll let y'all dictate this. I'll let y'all think about this. Would you guys rather, because there's only 20 minutes left in class, about 15 minutes truly, because I do need to stop 5 minutes beforehand. Would you guys rather us go straight to the speed drills with what we've learned today, or finish going through the rest of this, the multi-step equations, and then in tomorrow's class, we focus on the speed drills? What do you guys think? Okay, sounds good. It sounds like a lot of y'all. Oh, it's close. Okay. So I'm going to decide on doing the speed drills. And so even though that's not my desired option, I would have rather continued on. But we're going to do the speed drills because you guys decided on it. But here's the thing. We're going to go through the speed drills for what we've learned so far today. In tomorrow's class, we're going to do a quick review, or not a quick review, but we're going to do a pretty extensive review of everything we learned today. And then we're going to add on the multi-step equations, these right here. So I'm going to add these in, and then we're going to put it all together and do our speed drills all together. Because what you're going to notice is that our speed drills, have more than one problem given to you at a time, okay? It has more than one problem given to you at a time. And so I'm going to put up new questions in tomorrow's class. So Damien, you were trying these out. Let me just do these in my head real quick. 5 to -6. And then here what we have is 10 to -8. So that's going to be -4. Cool. So Damien, let me know if you got those two there. And then the other two here, I'm just going to do these real quick. 264 divided by 8, that's going to be 33, 25, 5. So this first one's going to be r equals 5. And then this one over here, I'm going to distribute. So we'll have -13x minus 1. So that's going to be plus 1, so 91. So 91 divided by -13, whatever that is. What's that going to be? 2 more than 5, so 7. So that's going to be right there, x equals -7. So there you go. Those are the answers there for you specifically, Damien, because again, you were trying my life all class long. So hopefully you've been vomiting or punching some drywall at this point. But I don't care. We're going to go ahead and go into the speed drills here. I got you, Damien. So we're going to go into the speed drills here. And I'm going to give us, since it's 7:41 here, I'm going to give us 2 minutes exactly. Pick one or the other. But if you have time, try them both out. Okay. And for those of you that are here for the first time, I joke around a lot with my students. Damien, I have a relationship with. He's cool. Like this buddy. Same with Dominic and a bunch of other students. Just want to make sure you guys are aware that I am not bullying my students. They can take it. All right. So with that, I'm going to give you 2 total minutes here, but I'm going to go ahead at the end of the 2 minutes, circle the answers, move on. Circle the answers, move on. And we're going to try to get as many problems as we can until class ends. You guys ready for the game? Booyah. Yeah, sounds good, Damien. Here we go. Hurry up. Damien, hurry up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Damien. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it here, guys. 2 minutes per slide. Every slide's going to have 2 questions. So let me get my face out of the way now. That way you can go ahead and see all the questions here. And the timer's going to be up here at the bottom. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go, my party people. Let's have fun. Do your best. Type ready when you're ready. Do not reveal the answer. Do not reveal the answer. And that is time, my math party people. So here are the answers, and we're going to move straight along into the next set. So for number 1, the answer is going to be B, -1. For number 2, the answer choice is going to be D, +2. Now, I really hope that you guys aren't trying to use the answer choices to get to the answers. I'm hoping that you're trying to do it from start to finish without using the answer choices You're just using the answers to verify your answer. Hopefully that's the case. But that was numbers 1 and 2. Let's get into numbers 3 and 4. Timer is starting now. Keep up the great work, guys. Stay excited. And again, for those of you that are new or interested in the program, stay until the end of class, and I'll go ahead and share with you how it works and a nice little discount code on how to get started. And that is time, my party people. Hopefully, we're having a good time so far. So, number 1, the answer is going to be B, negative 13 for number 1. For number 2, the answer, if you couldn't tell, is actually pretty similar. It's going to be C, negative 13. Booyah, booyah. Hopefully, you guys having a good time so far. Again, let's go ahead and get into this next one here. Next set. 3, 2, 1. Let's keep having fun. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, what do we have, my party people? What do we have? And if you got one of them, go ahead and say, hey, number 1, I got this, or number 2, I got this. Or if you got as far as saying, hey, I know what steps needed to be taken, or I know what steps are needed to be taken, then yeah, say that. Go ahead and say that again, because it's not about just being able to select the answer. Remember, everybody, let me go ahead and be very serious when I say this, and I want you to see my face when I say this. It's not about getting a question right or wrong. Like, get that out of your head. That's not what studying is about. That is the goal that you want on the test. Yes, you want to get the questions right on the test. But when it comes to studying, you want to be able to, in its purest form, be able to explain how to get the question right. That's your only goal. Can I understand it well enough to explain it? That's your goal. Because if you can talk about something well enough, you can do it in a high pressure situation. If you can talk about it all day, when push comes to shove and you're being timed and sat down, not going to make a difference. So I really want y'all to understand that. That's how you should be looking forward to learning. But let me go ahead and share these answers with you here. So the answer to number one is going to go ahead and be 18, I believe. So you add 5 times 9. Yep, that'll be 18. Then number two, I'm literally doing this live in front of you, so excuse me if I make a slight mistake, but that's going to be 10, 20. That's going to be C right there. So it's going to be 1 is A, 2 is C. 2 is C. We have enough time for one more, and then we're going to be ending class here. So you guys excited to give it your best for one more go? All right, sounds good. So let's go ahead and try this last one out. Let's see what you can do. And I may give you a hint, after a few moments on that first one there. So go ahead and give it a shot. Let me start the timer. If you want to start off with number 2 first, do your thing. But I can tell you right now, number 1 can also be read. If you distribute this first, that will end up being read as 28 plus 14x equals 126. If you want to see it that way, that's one little quote cleanup that you can do, and then you can go forward from there. Yeah, and Krishan, it's completely okay that you didn't finish in time, because again, it's about, hey, am I getting better than where I was at before? That's the main goal. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry about that. So with that, appreciate you guys being so attentive in the chat there. So with that said, you can give your answers, you can give your approach to it, you can give how you felt about it. Again, I want to see, are we making that incremental bit of progress? Like, that's really what I care about. Okay. So with that, the answers here are going to be 7, if I did that quickly in my head, and 2. 7 and 2. B and B. All we need is air before that. But with that, with that said, Leslie, you got it right. Congratulations. Like, seriously, I really hope you guys are enjoying math and seeing math as something that's doable. It absolutely is doable. Just to kind of ask you guys, did I change anybody's mind about math and your ability to pass the ASVAB today? Did I change anybody's mind at all? Yeah, starting to come around into enjoying it, right? I'm not expecting you to come out and be like, yeah, Valentine's Day tomorrow, and I want to make math my Valentine. Like, no, that's not what I'm going for. What I'm going for is, do we have just a little bit more of an appreciation for math? Do we see it as something that, again, is not something that's just in the way, but something that's actually doable? Something that's actually doable. So I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to screenshot these problems here really quick, starting with the first set. Screenshot these. And again, if you're in the program, you're going to have all this opportunity to practice. You literally have a set of 3,000 practice questions that reset every time you take it. So it's literally an unlimited set of questions. And about once every month, 2 months, we kind of refresh the whole thing and add in a whole new set of questions. So you have the ability right now to practice as much as you could possibly fathom when it comes to solving equations and anything on the ASVAB. That's why I spent 4 years building this program with your feedback and support. So that's number one. Here's number two. So here's how class is going to go ahead and conclude. For those of you that are in the program, 5 more seconds here. For those of you that are in the program, we're going to continue this class tomorrow, same time, and we're going to get more speed drills, and we're going to look at those multi-step equations. So rewatching today's class is totally recommended. It's going to be on YouTube, and it's also going to be in your group tutoring recordings. You know where to find that if you're in the program. And then tomorrow at 6 p.m., we follow up. We get into those even more complicated questions. If you're looking to score anything above a 50, you want to know how to do these. So get ready, because when you learn how to do those, that's it. Solving linear equations is never going to be an issue again. So again, if you are in the program, that's going to be tomorrow at 6 p.m., same time. If you're not in the program, just allow me, 3 more minutes of your time. I'll go ahead and go through how the program works, how to sign up, and you can see for yourself why literally over 2,500 students have raised their scores with us. Yeah. So with that, here's the last one that we just did. Go ahead. Yeah, that was the last one there. And for those, let me see here. Yeah, Unit 7. That's right. Unit 7 for the math basics, Krishan. That's right. Unit 7 for the math basics. Unit 7 for math basics. Yeah. So again, for those of you that are in the program, Unit 7 in the math basics. And if you've got this down, then in math knowledge, so after you do math basics, math knowledge Unit 7 is system of equations, which is arguably one of the hardest math concepts people say that they have trouble with. Going to be nothing. If you know how to do this, going to be nothing for you. Again, as long as you understand these core fundamental ideas. So with that, there it is, my party people. You are all good. So if you are, again, in the program, you are all set. I'm really happy that you guys came. I got a lot of good feedback from you guys in today's class. You've made this easily one of the top 5 classes, and I have taught a lot of classes. I think just ASVAB alone, I think I've taught a little over 530 at this point, a little over that. But yeah, so this is easily top 5 class. You guys have been absolutely awesome. So with that said, let me go ahead and get this troll out of here. Got your IP address too. Appreciate you. So with that, boom, you're out of here. But you guys have absolutely been a godsend in today's class. You guys have been awesome. Take my number down. If you have any questions for this, if you're in the program, here we go, 567-698-8867. And now, quick question: who was here for the first time? Whose first experience with me was it? I'm glad. Hey, no worries, Cameron. I can take care of that easily. That's all good. But cool. I'm glad that there's been a lot of new faces today, though. I'm really, really, really glad there have been, because you never know. Like, the reason that I always bring this energy and have a good time with you guys is because I never know who's here for the first time or who's here for the last time before taking the test. So I have that mentality of, like, every decision that I make and everything that I say is going to be taken seriously by you guys in most respects. Obviously, when I'm clearly joking, we have our shoulders drop back. But I know how nervous you guys are, and I know how important this is to you. So I want to make sure that you have the best experience possible, flat out. So if you're interested in the program, I want you to know that The program is simply a way for me to give you all the support that I can possibly give you without literally, dying the next day. So I put my blood and soul into this only because I have a very extensive background when it comes to systems and automations. So I'm pretty much running like a 12-person company with just me and a couple of people. So it's better for you because that makes the price very, very, very low for you. But that doesn't mean the quality isn't the same. So if you were here for the first time and you're looking at some of these questions and you're answering yes, this program is definitely something you want to look into. So everybody go ahead really quick in the chat box, get ready to answer some of these questions. And for those of you that are in the program, if you wouldn't mind just saying something about the program real quick right here in the chat box, do me that favor. Just be honest. If it sucks, right? But be honest. And also, for those of you that are here for the first time, answer these questions for me. Do you experience test anxiety? And what I mean by that is, do you feel like just the idea of scheduling to take the ASVAB, let's say tomorrow, just the idea of going to MEPS makes you nervous? Just the idea of that pressure makes it so you do worse. Okay. Next question. Do you blank out on word problems? Do you feel like with some questions, you might be going ahead and reading the sentence, the second sentence, the third sentence, and then you're just like, what did I just read? Do you feel like that happens to you a little more often than you wanted to? Well, if so, again, this is the problem that we solve. Number 3, do you hate guessing and hoping for the best? Like, do you feel like a lot of the times it's like, I got like 3 minutes left on this test. There's 12 questions left. I have to guess. And you know that you're going to get a poor score because of it. And it's frustrating, right? And then lastly, and again, I want you guys to be as honest as possible. Thanks for participating. Do you feel like you're kind of going through this alone? Like, do you kind of feel like it's up to you to figure out what you need to study, how you need to study it, how to know when you're ready to take a test? Do you feel like that's all up to you and it's kind of annoying? Gotcha. Like, look, I've been doing this for a really long time. I've been teaching for over 10 years. I've taught virtually. I've run my business for 10 years and beyond. But I've taught AP Calculus, I've taught teachers, I've taught PhD candidates, and it's all really the same thing. We want to be put in an environment where we can succeed. And thankfully, we built that. So on a more positive side, 3 questions. Do you feel like this class improved your chances of passing? Do you think that more of this could work for you? And do you kind of wish you had somebody who could have your back until you passed? I'm glad, guys. I'm glad you feel that way because, again, like this is what we provide. So I want to make sure that I cut straight to the chase. I know your time is important. So I just want to just showcase really quick just some of the students out of the thousands that have been with us. We have a couple of hundred also in Google reviews and on the website as well. So if you are curious about what other students have had to say, feel free. Go on Google, type in Duran Learning, the name of my company, Duran Learning, and you'll see the reviews. I'll let them talk instead of me. So with that said, here's how the program works. That way you can sign up and get started. Again, simple as this. Watch, practice, master. Watch me in all these fun live classes or get the recordings, all 450 plus of them, so that you can watch it anytime, whenever you want. Number 2, practice. You got to make sure you practice after you watch it being done. And so that's why you have 24/7 on-demand access to all these courses for math knowledge AR, word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, and general science as well. You'll have study guides, you'll have worksheets, you'll have all the practice that you need to succeed. And then on top of that, mastery. This is not some just, one-off tutoring classes. Like, this is not how that works. I'm here to support you all the way until you pass. So what that means is you're going to get access to me, my personal phone number, and you can text me whenever you need help. I answer Monday through Friday. You can send me a text at 4 a.m. I don't care. There's this feature called Do Not Disturb, and so I'll be able to answer you when I'm in office. So don't feel bad about texting me at any time, any day. Don't worry. I reply Monday through Friday. Typically, you'll get a reply at the very least once in a 24-hour period. But if it's between 9 and 3 p.m., I'm answering right away, typically. So with that said, guys, that's really how it works, man. Like, everything that we do here, every update that we'll make, you'll get for free, and we do it so you can succeed. So if you're ready to sign up, here's how to do it. Let me go and just grab this link here because there's actually 2 discount codes that you can use for today's class. So right over here, program link. So basically, like I said before, most programs are charging you $150 for a month or $200 per month, and I don't agree with that at all. I only charge $60 per month. Or if you know that you want to study for as long as you need to and get the score that you want and the job you deserve, and you know it's going to take a little longer, get the year. The year costs less than paying for 5 months up front. So basically, it's already over a 50% discount. And the crazier thing is, that's before the discount. So if you go ahead and take a look right over here, you'll see the code behind my face and also in the Zoom chat. If you use the code year150, you're going to get $150 off of the full year. And if you go with the lifetime, well, hey, I'll give you $200 off of that using the code LT200, all caps. Long story short, making your life very, very easy. So essentially, all I'm saying is, if you look at the lifetime, right now, tonight only, that's the cost of less than the full year. But you can get it for life. So if you're trying to pass now and get promoted later, I just gave you a very nice avenue to do so. Pay a month and a half if you would pay anywhere else and get me for life. Yep, that works. So with that, yeah, not a problem at all, Devin, man. Not a problem at all. Like, Devin, you've known me for over a year now, and you know that I haven't changed one bit. And thank you for being the person that you are, Devin, from coming to me from the very first day when you were like, I want to work with you, coach. My English is not that good. I remember that. And you didn't make an excuse out of it. You busted your butt off. You worked for it. And now you're still on your way to becoming special forces. So, like, thank you, man. Like, you put in the work and you've made this all worth it. Students like you are always the ones that are going to succeed. So one more time again, everybody, here's the link in the chat box. Go ahead, sign up, get started, and have the time of your life. The monthly is always $60 any day of the week. And that's that's as cheap as we can make it. And we're proud to make it so. But also, again, if you're studying for extended periods of time and you want to make sure that you never have to pay again, go with one of these options there too. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat box. Or if you're watching this on Zoom as the recording or watching us live on Zoom and I'm not paying attention to that chat box, feel free to go ahead and shoot me a text message at 567-698-8867. Again, my job is your success. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here for you. So go ahead, sign up, get started, and have a good time. I'm going to answer some of these questions in the chat box, and I will be stepping away for the evening in just a few moments because I do have health things that I do need to take care of. And for those of you who know, you know, but I do need to move along in just a few moments. But let me go ahead and give you my full undivided attention when I see that there. So let's see. Kayla, for sure, I got you. So what I can do, if you did the year already, Kayla, I can go ahead, shoot me a text. I'm going to make that worth it to you because you stayed till the end of the class. I got you. Just go ahead and text me and just say, hey, coach, you told me to reach out to you about me already purchasing and not using the year discount. I'll talk to you about what that means right after. Christiana, I know exactly what you mean when it comes to test anxiety. Like, it's a very real thing. People, I don't know why some people believe that test anxiety is not real. Some people like to say, suck it up. Like, no, it's a very real thing. And there are very real strategies that you can use to get past it. So if you saw how I taught today, it wasn't truly about, again, the right answer. That's on the test. When you're studying, it's about the conversation. So remember that if you keep learning like that, even if it's not with me, like, I don't mind that at all. Wherever you learn, if it's by yourself or with someone else, remember that it's always about the conversation that you're having and if you can explain what you're doing. That's your goal always. And there are many different ways you can get there, but that should be the goal. And I got you if you do study with me. Hey, Aranola. Okay, so you need the right link for the daily practice. Yeah, so when you sign up, make sure to read that welcome email and the welcome text. It has everything you need to know. Everything you need is right there. It explains how to get started from step 1, step 2, step 3. And I need you to start with the math basics. Start from unit 1. It's going to seem rudimentary with adding and subtracting, but it's there to show that you can prove that you're good there. And that's why I made the progress book, so you can make progress little by little and track your progress nice and easy. So Alexandria, so essentially The answer to that question is it because you're not allowed to use a calculator. And the thing is, one school district's ninth grade could be another district's 10th grade. So get that idea out of your head. Just go ahead and consider it just high school math. The most that you'll be tested on is up through algebra one. Like that's it. And then you'll have your fundamental geometric ideas, which you can learn in eighth grade into ninth as well, into algebra one. But don't worry about anything beyond algebra one. You are not going to be asked to do trigonometry. You're not going to be asked to do calculus. You're not going to be asked to do like a lot of these other ideas. Like the toughest thing, in my professional opinion, definitely system of equations, word problems, distance, rate, time mixed with percentages. Like when you start mixing the ideas together, those are the tough ones. When you mix percents and proportions, or when you mix, decimals with rates and equations, like those are the tough ones. But it's really just mixing what you've already learned. So that's why I'm really preaching, hey, let's go ahead and learn this from start to finish, each individual one. Then when you see those challenge problems where I mix things together, you're sitting here like, oh, I see where that came from. I see where that came from. Now I know how to do it. Coach, give me another one. And boom, you're off to the races. And that's how it goes. I see here. Are there other days? So right now it's Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. But the great thing is, like I said, every single class is recorded, every single one. So you'll get access to literally every resource I have. And if you need help building a study plan out, because it's already pre-built for you. But if you need any extra help or advice or extra worksheets, I can build those for you. So it's really important that you understand that the program, it basically takes the cost all the way off. You pay for less than 1 hour of tutoring, but you get 24 hours of classes a month recorded for you, and you get access to the entire library of courses, practice problems, practice tests, speed drills, got everything that I get. So if you're willing to take a chance on me, I'm going to show you exactly how to get it done from start to finish, and the stress really doesn't have to be there anymore. It doesn't. Kevin, that's funny. Hey, Devin, I'm proud of you, man. Keep it up. Hey, Micah. So the math basics, just go ahead and log into the website from your desktop or your phone. There's going to be a pop-up that appears that says, hey, start here, math basics. And also when you log in, the first thing you'll see is the math basics picture. Just make sure to refresh that page just in case you don't see it right when you signed up. It took a second for the little robots that I built to get everything organized for you. You're welcome. I got you. Not a problem at all. And then Aaronola, let me know if that made sense again. Yeah, so just make sure to go to the program checklist and you'll get that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So there it is, my party people. Again, let me go ahead and put the link right there in the chat box as well. For those of you that are still here on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and put that there for you too. So let me go ahead and do that for you, Bob, my party people. There you go. Again, if you have any questions at all, my party people, I am hopping off now. Again, my name is Coach Anderson. I got your back. Here's my phone number. It's going to be 567 698 8867. Again, feel free to text me right there. That's my phone number. I got your back, okay? Go ahead and text me. Let's ace the ASVAB and let's have a great time, my party people. Next class is tomorrow, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., same time. Part 2 of today's class. We're going to have a lot of fun. Like, it's going to be a really, really good class. So let's have fun. I'll see you there. Text me. And seriously, thank you guys for taking your Monday night to be with me. See you guys. Have fun. And I'm going to end the YouTube stream right now. And there's that.